About 10 years ago, I played a lot of Minecraft. I wasn't very good or anything, and I have the amazing ability to produce buildings with zero artistic value, but I definitely enjoyed roaming around with an obscenely large horde of wolves, just exploring. And recently, I had an itch, compelling me to go back and try to play the game in a way I never had before. So I looked at how the game is played today, looking at hours of speedruns, creative builds, and let's plays before something finally caught my eye. All advancements, a speedrun category where runners would compete to earn all advancements as quickly as possible. The top runner in this category, Feinberg, managed to finish this run in an insane 2 hours and 44 minutes. And I decided that I couldn't beat that. But it did get me thinking, and I decided to do the exact opposite, beating Minecraft with as few advancements as possible. So I went off to put the maximum amount of effort to earn the minimum number of in-game advancements. But do you know what advancements you shouldn't skip? Liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Did you know that, according to this graph, 100% of viewers aren't subscribed because this is the first video on this channel? Fix it, you know, if you want. Now, what are advancements? Well, in 2017, the powers that be decided that players needed something to strive for, so they introduced a series of tasks that a player could complete for a digital pat on the back. As of version 1.16, which I am playing today, there are 80 of these advancements, ranging from the mundane, have a crafting table in your inventory, to the insanely complex, have all 27 in-game effects applied to the player at the same time. So the first thing I did was make a world. And then I had to think. See, typically a person would spawn in, find the nearest tree, and punch a 1 meter cube chunk straight out of the trunk. This chunk would then immediately be converted into a crafting table, the lifeblood of any Minecraft run. Now, checking through my list of advancements, nothing says that I can't get myself a little wood. But wouldn't you know it, the root advancement in the Minecraft tab is to have a crafting table in your inventory. So that's a no-go. Fortunately for me, there are several places that crafting tables naturally generate, on the ground and ready for use. They spawn at pillager outposts, igloos, witch huts, and, most commonly, in the humble Minecraft village. Now that I have something to search for, all I have to do is find it. Fortunately, after a bit of running, I stumbled upon this quaint little village nestled deep in a forest, and after burglarizing every house, I finally found what I was looking for. So now what? Do I immediately get some stone and craft myself a pickaxe? Not a shot. Not only does crafting a stone, or iron pickaxe for that matter, trigger an advancement, I can't even pick up stone. So armed with some wooden tools, I was prepared to rush through the game. For about 60 seconds. Why so soon? Well, as I'm sure you're aware, humans need to eat, and Steve, as absurdly inhuman as he may seem, being able to hold a frankly insane 1.7 billion kilograms is no exception to this. So what do? Go hunt down some cows or pigs for food? Not so fast, because I am blocked by yet another advancement. The root advancement of the husbandry tab is to consume anything. So no food, ever. Steve stays hungry. Unless there's another way to feel full. Wait, there is. See, another thing that humans require is sleep, which Steve can only do in a bed. Now, Steve can't actually sleep this run, as lying on a bed triggers an advancement. But right-clicking a bed during the day allows me to set my spawn point without actually sleeping. So a quick fiery death later, and I appear at the foot of my bed, happy and healthy, and certainly not sweating the horrors seen in my brief introduction to the reincarnation cycle. Anyways, back to exploring. During my run around, I had previously found a mob spawner on the pie chart in the debug screen, which shows a lot of useful information such as coordinates and entity counts. Now, mob spawners can generate in a large number of locations, but this close to the surface, you would only expect to find them in a dungeon or an abandoned mineshaft, both of which can contain loot to make this run much easier. So I decided to commit the cardinal sin of Minecraft and dig straight down. Now, keep in mind that this was not a one and done sort of challenge. In order to create this, I have restarted dozens of runs due to picking up errant stone blocks or other lapses in judgment that granted me an advancement. So previously, where I had beaten through dozens of meters of rock with my bare hands in order to prevent cobble blocks from actually spawning, which at 7.5 seconds a block took an agonizingly long time, this time I simply filled my inventory with wood, physically preventing me from picking up the vast number of stone blocks littering the floor. Arriving at the dungeon, which is conveniently attached to a mineshaft, I was rewarded with gunpowder, minecart rails, a minecart chest, and, most importantly, buckets and bones. Now, cast your mind back to earlier in this video where I said that acquiring an iron pick would trigger an advancement. This is 100% true, but what I didn't mention is that merely holding iron ingots will also trigger an advancement. This means that I could not obtain a bucket through traditional methods, which is very important as in order to enter the Nether, a bucket of water is essential to make a portal as I cannot hold the obsidian required to make the portal myself. Emerging bleary-eyed from the mineshaft, I began to head back to the village, or more accurately, back to the crafting table, only pausing to befriend a pack of nearby wolves, earning myself my first advancement, best friends forever. Now, this might seem like an odd choice to you. Why on earth does Steve need a horde of cute little animal friends? Is companionship worth the higher advancement count? Certainly this isn't mandatory, right? Well, time will tell. So, upon arriving at the village, I made some TNT, and I began searching for a lava pool that I could use in order to create a portal to take me to the Nether. And wouldn't you know it, I found one. Far underground, I found the perfect lava pool. But I wasn't quite ready to enter the barren hellscape yet, because I had made a discovery. Where previously, I was smashing rocks with my bare hands or filling my inventory just to avoid picking any stone up, this new discovery allowed me to pick up items without triggering advancements. See, back in 2017, a bug report had been made on the Mojang website where, in version 1.12, if an item that triggered an advancement was picked up while within a chest or a crafting table, or any other entity with its own inventory, the advancement would not actually trigger until after you left the menu. This means that entire crafting trees become available to me. Before, picking up diamonds would trigger the diamonds advancement. However, now I would be able to fill my inventory, click on the crafting table, do some creative shuffling in my inventory to pick up the diamonds, and craft them into a tool before leaving the inventory. By crafting them into a pickaxe or other tool before leaving the menu, this means that, in the eyes of the game at least, I never even touched the diamonds. Armed with this information, I used my TNT to explode some redstone and iron ores, which I then took to the crafting table in order to make a couple pistons. Just because I'm not able to actually pick up the crafting table doesn't mean I'm not allowed to take it with me. So using the pistons, I pushed this crafting table straight through the wall of the house it spawned in and took it deep underground, where, coincidentally, I had found some diamonds. Now, strictly speaking, was this all necessary? Not at all, but it did allow me to achieve certain tasks much easier, as I now had a swanky set of diamond tools without triggering a single advancement. And with these tools, I went exploring for one last thing to make my journey smoother: an ocean monument. This gargantuan underwater structure may seem like one of the last places I would find something to help me through the Nether. But conveniently, it is filled to the brim with gold, something that would have been inaccessible to me without my diamond tools. Gold is a precious resource that will come in handy for me very soon. Using the 2RD strat, where render distance is lowered so that a player can only see 2 chunks away, I am able to stealthily enter the monument and pilfer the gold without giving the guardians a chance to murder me or afflict me with the mining fatigue debuff. Heading back towards home base and flush with 8 blocks of gold, I am finally ready to make a nether portal. But speaking of nether portals, did you know that obsidian, the only block required to make a portal, gives you an advancement upon pickup? And not only that, did you know that lava, which can be transformed into obsidian with water, triggers an advancement when you put it in a bucket? This is why I said that I needed the perfect lava pool, one deep enough that without displacing even a single block of lava, I would be able to make a nether portal the requisite 5 blocks tall. Back in my hole, I filled my inventory with miscellaneous garbage and used my diamond pickaxe to quickly mine obsidian without being able to pick up the blocks left behind. As with a lot of things, this is not 100% necessary, but it does bring mining time down from 250 seconds, or just over 4 minutes per block, to 9.4 seconds. As I was going to be breaking a lot of obsidian, this one choice easily saved me over 30 minutes. After carefully carving out my portal, I lit it with a flint and steel made using the inventory exploit, and finally entered the Nether, simultaneously triggering my second and third unskippable advancements for the run. We need to go deeper in the Minecraft tab and Nether, the root advancement of the Nether tab. These are unskippable, as in order to enter the end, you need to craft Eyes of Ender, which require blaze powder that can only be obtained in the Nether. Upon my arrival into the Nether, I immediately began searching for a piglin, a hostile local pig-man hybrid with a particular fondness for a certain rare element, one that we just so happened to acquire under the sea. Now, despite the hostile nature of piglins, they respect gold more than anything else, and anyone wearing a piece of gold armor is treated neutrally. Fortunately, I just so happen to be decked out in one glittery pair of shoes. This means that I am able to safely barter with the piglins for a variety of incredibly useful items, namely splash potions of fire resistance and ender pearls, without risking triggering the Ooh Shiny advancement, which would be earned by distracting an angry piglin with gold. Now, even with this gold armor, bartering is not without its perils, because piglins also drop obsidian, which I previously mentioned triggers an advancement, and crying obsidian, which triggers a different one. However, as with before, with a full inventory, a chest, and some creative shuffling, I am able to safely sort all of the items into the chest and cherry pick what I want, without the game noticing that I picked up the obsidians. Now, with all the items that I needed from the piglins, I freed them from this plane of existence and made a quick trip to deposit the ender pearls safely in the overworld. I then moved towards a nearby nether fortress to find myself a blaze spawner. Now, like always, this is much easier said than done, as the advancement, a terrible fortress, will trigger if I stand on any block within the fortress. But blazes only spawn within a fortress, so I find myself with a bit of a problem. I can't easily lure blazes out of the fortress, as when a player is far away they tend to just shoot fireballs, and I can't just run in gung-ho, because that defeats the entire purpose of what I'm doing here. Am I stuck? Is this the fourth unskippable advancement? No. So what did I do? Well, first, I looked at what I had to do. I knew I had to get blaze rods, and I knew that killing a blaze was the only way to get them. Now, an unusual quirk with blaze is that, unlike pretty much any other mob, they will only drop loot, in this case the blaze rod, when killed directly by a player or a player's tamed pet. Indirectly killing a blaze, such as by suffocating it in a wall or getting it to die at the hands of another mob, will never give me what I need. This means that I had two choices. One, get Steve's hands dirty and just kill the blazes myself, earning both the Monster Hunter and Adventure advancements, kill any hostile monster, and kill or be killed by any entity respectively, or perhaps by using some kind of wolf buddy, preserving my passive nature and only netting the singular Best Friends Forever advancement. It's a no-brainer, and if you are paying any amount of attention, you already know my choice. So I went back to the overworld and pushed all three of my wolf friends through the portal to finally prove their worth. After creating a convenient killing chamber, I doused myself and my wolves in a potion of fire resistance. Can't drink one because of advancements, but nothing says I can't break a bottle of it over my head, and I slowly began luring out the blazes one by one and blocking them into the chamber to feed to my hungry friends. There are two ways to encourage a wolf to attack a blaze. Take a hit, which causes the wolves to murder the blaze in retaliation, which I did try and was not fun. I lost a run to it. Or to punch the blaze, showing the wolves what to attack. You might think that punching a blaze and sicking dogs onto it might count as killing a monster, but Minecraft only cares if Steve lands the final blow. Not the most ethical action, but it doesn't trigger an advancement, and that's all I care about. After each kill, I made sure I could safely deposit the rods into a nearby chest, because, surprise surprise, blaze rods when picked up trigger the Into Fire advancement. With all the rods safely stored in the chest, I do have something approximating a solution. But there is a flaw. See, in order to create Eyes of Ender, I need to first transform these rods into a new powder form. But guess what? You cannot craft while within a chest, and my crafting table is in another dimension. So I needed a way to get these items safely stored within a chest through the nether portal. And lo and behold, something that I grabbed very early on in my run is finally about to come into play. The minecart chest. Most entities can travel through a nether portal. A chest cannot, as it is just a stationary object. But slap some wheels on that sucker and suddenly you can push it right through, safely preserving the rods within. Now I can combine my blaze rods with my ender pearls into Eyes of Ender, and I am ready to head into the final leg of this run. But before I left my village for the final time, I decided in my sleep-addled haze that if I'm not able to sleep, these villagers should not be able to either. So I broke into literally every house and stole each and every bed around. And with that, I left. Throwing an eye vendor to show me the way to go, I embarked on a long, perilous journey. I couldn't sleep and I couldn't eat. I had to periodically throw myself off of ledges to respawn so that I could run, and I had to dig holes in the ground to sit in whenever the sun set. But finally, I arrived at my goal. One of the best and most easily accessible strongholds, one with an ocean-exposed portal room. Now I dig until I reach the portal room that I had found. Can't just break in, as entering the stronghold triggers the I Spy advancement. So instead, I hollow out the area around the portal room and I break the walls to get a good look, surveying for a particular block of the portal frame to be filled. See, in order to enter the end, I need to put 12 eyes of ender into a frame that is 5 by 5 blocks, with the corners removed. And although I have established that Steve is anything but human, he does have limits. And that limit is a reach of 4.5 meters. And guess what? The furthest possible distance between me and any particular frame block is exactly 6 blocks. This means that any fortress created in the world has exactly a 1 in 10 chance of being usable, as I needed this one frame block to generate filled. Otherwise, I would 100% be needing to stand within the bounds of the stronghold. So, with the area around the portal room hollowed out, I am able to easily reach and fill the rest of the frames to finally get myself a working portal to the end, but it's out of my reach. The portal is active, but it's 5 blocks into an advancement. So now what? Steve's an inhuman monster, but he can't just teleport, right? Well, not by himself, but he can channel his inner Enderman. Ender Pearls, which I received during my Piglin bartering, allows Steve to imitate the skill used by roaming Endermen, teleportation. Now, Endermen can control their own teleportation at their whim, but Steve's capabilities are quite limited. Steve has to lob these pearls as hard as he can, and the moment the pearl comes into contact with something solid, he will miraculously appear. So, after quickly going out of my way to steal the stairs leading to the portal, I precisely aim to hit the inside of the portal and warp myself directly to the end, skipping something that I genuinely did not think would be skippable, I Spy, but finally triggering my 4th and 5th unskippable advancements, both called The End, but one in the Minecraft tab and one as the root of the End tab. As you might expect, entering a realm called The End, I am now at the final stage of my run, currently with 5 obtained advancements, although 2 are duplicates. I have one last thing to do, liberate the end by killing the Ender Dragon. So what advancements can I even unlock here? Well, realistically, the main one that I have to be concerned with is Free the End, which requires me to kill the dragon, our aforementioned goal. This would also trigger Monster Hunter and the Root of the Adventure tab mentioned previously. Surprisingly enough, however, a well-known speedrunning strategy is about to save me a lot of trouble. Top-level Minecraft speedrunners have perfected a strategy called the One Cycle, which uses an intended quirk that causes a harmless bed to violently explode when interacted with in any dimension other than the overworld to quickly dispose of the despot ruling over the end. By using beds, the game does not recognize that I am the one to have killed the dragon, and therefore does not trigger Free the End. So I appear on an obsidian slab deep underground and begin the part of the run I struggled with the most. I immediately dig to the surface and rush to the fountain residing in the center of the island. I set up for my One Cycle using a waterlogged stair block to allow me to safely set and detonate my beds. This would usually be done with obsidian, but advancements, and in a few brief moments of dodging fireballs and avoiding angering the locals, I successfully do not take any credit for the death of the dragon, jumping into the portal created in the fountain and finishing my run with a grand total of 5 advancements. So let's quickly recap the advancements I got. Best friends forever for taming an animal. We need to go deeper, and the Nether for entering the Nether, and 2 advancements called the End for entering the End. These are all, to my knowledge at least, 100% required, as in order to finish the run, I needed to enter the End. And in order to do so, I must kill blazes to acquire blaze rods, which can only be found in the Nether. So 5 advancements, or 3 if I discount actions that triggered 2 identical advancements, which I will do because a smaller number sounds better. It is also worth noting that with a fixed seed, the theoretical minimum amount of advancements is actually only 2. But this requires you to use a seed that has all 12 end portal frames filled, which is a 1 in 1 trillion chance. This would only require you to enter the end, triggering both the end advancements, but I thought that this was much less exciting and I will stick to my 3 unique advancements. So if you did like this video, please do like and subscribe and let me know what you thought down in the comments. It really does help with the motivation to make more and more videos. Do you think that I could have gotten less advancements, or are you shocked at some of the ones I did skip? Let me know and I'll see you next time.